Welcome back. If you're watching this video, you're about to make a whole lot of money. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Here's why. My goal is to not just upload content. I want to create a community where I listen to you, and it's my job to work for you, to create a space that you don't have to search all over the internet, but you can come to one place and get what you need for personal development, for business development, for spiritual development. That's really our wheelhouse. So how do we grow closer in our relationship with God? How do we grow our business? And how do we grow as a person? Well, I listen to you all. Many of you said you want to see more of me speaking on stage. So you're about to watch about a 15-minute segment of a 1-hour presentation I did for a conference hosted by Dr. Dharius Daniels called Ministry and Marketplace. It's for faith-based entrepreneurs. So I talked on how to use messaging and marketing to attract your audience. And I used the most famous person that ever lived, Jesus, to be able to do it. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in a minute.
Imagine I'm praying for a $2 raise. I write that book in 10 days. The first day, I sell 1,000 copies at $20. Carry the 1, minus the 2. You don't sell products. You don't sell services. You don't sell time. Well, Marcus, what do we sell? We got to understand. Can I give you a few messaging rules? Rule number 1, you are not an industry. You are not an industry or a title. Hey, so who are you? Well, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a pastor, I'm a podcaster. You're not a title. You are whatever result you provide for people within that. So if I say I'm an author, no, I write books that help this group of people accomplish this. So if you're an author, if you are Dr. Anita Phillips and you're helping people deal with emotional trauma, you're not just an author, you're a person who writes books for people who are processing emotional trauma to help them get healed. Listen to the messaging. Most of us are losing sales because we're married to titles. You ever been around somebody? I'm sure you get this, Pastor D. And you say you're a pastor, and they say, oh my God, well, it creates distance, not closeness. Your titles is scaring the money away. It stops relationships. Your titles are turning you from a person into an opportunity. That people no longer see you as a person, they see you as an opportunity. You're not a title. You know when you leave here, you're going to get on a plane and somebody's going to say, so what do you do? So what do you do? And you're going to say, a little bit of everything. You know, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a pastor, I do faith and business. And some of you heard that this weekend and you was like, oh, okay, all right. But your brain was like, if you like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. You have no clue how to refer that person. Clear messaging is your business card. I don't need to hand you a business card if you say, what do you do? I help coaches and entrepreneurs create monthly lead, lunch, and sales systems so they have predictability in their income. Because most people don't have a money problem, they have a lead problem. Not enough people know they exist. Most people need a monthly lunch. Why? Because they know every month how much they're paying in bills, but not how much people are paying them. They need a sales process because all of us secretly want to make money while trying to avoid being salesy. Now, the moment you heard that, you're like, yeah. Versus, I'm a coach. See what I robbed you of? The title blocks the result. You're not a title. You're not an industry. Why else are you not that? Because whatever bad experience I had with someone in that industry, I lump that on you. You now take the whooping for the last coach. If I had a bad experience with the last one, I assume you are them. Is this making sense? You are not a or an industry. There we go. Rule number 2. Now this one is going to sound a little complicated, but we'll unravel it. You don't sell products. You don't sell services. You don't sell time. Well, Marcus, what do we sell? Solutions to problems, answers to questions. if you want to make money. Oh, is it okay to say money in church? If you want to make money. Ooh, don't say that. If you want to make money, you have to realize that nobody wakes up in the morning. Babe, what you doing today? I think I'm going to buy a product. What you doing next month? Man, I'm just looking for a service I can buy. But what do you say? You are looking for the answer to a question or a solution to a problem. So when you go on Google or YouTube, you search a question, you find a person. How to grow my social media. You find a person who tells you how to do it. And most of us cannot be found because we are trying to be a title, an industry, and sell a product and service instead of a solution to a problem, an answer to a. This is so good. I feel like we need a break. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment. Just take a moment. I wish we had Todd right now. I feel like we just need a moment. Y'all crazy. Y'all need counseling and Christ. Okay, so does everybody get the concept? Yes. Messaging rules? Yes, yes? So I want to show us something else. I call this Messiah messaging. Now, what is Messiah messaging? Luke 4:18 is so beautiful because Jesus gives us a framework we should use that you're going to use when you leave here to not be an industry and to not sell products and services. Watch this. Jesus gives it to me. Now, here's my gift. Years and years and years and years and years ago, where I'm from, anytime you communicate and you grow up in church, my mother and father are pastors. So my dad identifies as an apostle. My mom identifies as a prophet. So if you can halfway put two words together, that boy can preach the gospel. Can't be nothing else, right? So you can't be this and that, you this or that at that point. But I remember pursuing that and using that gift and wanting and praying every day, God, hire me to work full-time for you. That's my prayer. God, hire me to work full-time for you. And I remember fasting and praying, working at Florida State University, that I would get a $2 raise, and God never gave it to me. Greatest gift he ever did was not answer that prayer. Wow. Because I quit Florida State. I wrote my first book in 10 days. That book, shout out to Parks and Crump, the attorney office in Tallahassee, Florida, allowed me to host my first book signing for free. So imagine I'm praying for a $2 raise. I write that book in 10 days. The first day, I sell 1,000 copies at $20. Carry the one, minus the two. I make $20,000 in a day on what I wrote in 10 days because God kept telling me, give me something to bless. And guess what I did when he kept telling it? He kept saying it in my spirit like an alarm clock with no snooze button. Give me something to bless. 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 And you know what I did? Looked at 1 Kings when Elijah said to the woman, what do you have in your house? And she said, I don't have nothing but a handful of meal and a jar of oil. And I went and preached what I should have been creating. I thought that I'm in Apalachicola, Florida, preaching, give me something to bless, instead of actually creating something for God to bless. I finished preaching, and God tells me that message wasn't for them, it was for you. So I'm starving to death while preparing meals to feed other people. Because if the extent of what God was going to do for me is just sermons, like Marcus, you got a pregnant gift. You can do way more with it than just that. So Luke 4:18, Messiah messages, how Jesus uses messaging and marketing for ministry and marketplace. Okay, now look at this. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to blank. How you fill in that blank, this begins the messaging. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Why is God's hand on your life? Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me too. What have you been gifted and graced to do? Before you form the message, let's just make sure. The Spirit of the Lord, Jesus begins this. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me too. Please write this down, because this is the foundation of messaging. This tells you what means of transportation. I just had to correct someone last week. They said, man, well, you're a podcaster, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a coach. I said, those are nothing more than vehicles that God uses for different seasons of my life to transport me where he's taking me. I refuse to live in disobedience, riding in a vehicle he don't want to use no more. So when he's done with the title coaching, let me out. When he's done with the title podcaster, let me out. Whatever vehicle he want to use for the season of my life for transportation, because this is the foundation. The gift and the grace, not the vehicle. This make sense? Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me too. What are you anointed to do? What have you been enabled and empowered to do easily? I am finally standing in my gift and my grace. This I can do easily. But I also never forget that I can't do it without him. But my prayer before I open my mouth anytime, I say similar prayer. I'm about to use a gift you gave me to your gift, your people. When I'm finished, they're going to compliment me for something I didn't give myself. So I'm going to accept the award on your behalf, but I know it was you that gave it to me. Because the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Remember the prayer. Let me work for you. I didn't know I had this gift. So he had to make me clear on, Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he's anointed me too. Gift and grace. Let's go to the next part. Watch this, y'all. He has anointed me too. Then it says, he has sent me to. Can we go to the full scripture so they can see the full thing? Then let's break it down. Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. Very clear.
Yes. Yes.
This is Jesus' messaging.
Yes.
Spirit of the Lord, a Jesus who could do everything.
Yes.
But he's clear on, I'm going to proclaim the good news to the poor.
Yes.
What about everybody else? This is what I'm anointed to do.
Yes.
I'm going to trust that God going to anoint somebody else to take care of all them other issues.
Yes.
You ain't worried about the poor. I am, but I ain't anointed for that. Yes. You ain't worried about marriages. I am, but I ain't anointed for that. Right. You ain't worried about the kids. I am, but I ain't worried about that. What about the animals? I love them, but I ain't worried about that. Because I can only help what I'm anointed for. Yes. Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. Uh-oh, he has sent me to proclaim freedom for who? And recovery of sight for the blind. Oh, so he sent me to proclaim a message of freedom, but he tells me how to gauge my result. Don't stop until you see recovery of sight. This is what I want you to do, but how do you gauge your productivity? Don't stop until you see recovery of sight. Until those with no vision have a vision for what they called to do. Until those who can't focus can finally focus. Okay, let me bring inside voice. I was feeling real preacher-ish. All right. He sent me to proclaim freedom for the prison, recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free. Verse 19, to proclaim, so that's the core message. Your core message, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. That's the core message. Now let's go to the fill in the blanks, and I want us to grab them. Let's go to the next one. Spirit of the Lord is upon me. You got that? He has sent me to. That's the goal. Gift and grace, he has sent me to. That's when you figure out what is your goal that you're after. That's the thing you point your focus at and your message at. Let's go to the next part. Proclaim freedom for who? That's clarity of who you're called to. Next part. To proclaim the core message that every time I hear you, I should expect that. Now, what I love is Dr. Darius Daniels, those that are in the coaching programs, he always talks about what one word. Yeah. Come on now. If you in any of the programs, doesn't he teach this? What one word? What's your word? Transformation. What's yours? That's your core message. That's your core message. Make sense? All right. I have an absolutely free gift for you. I want to make sure I give it to you before we end this episode. It is a free business assessment.
You heard me talk about our lead launch and sales system that we help our clients get more leads. Why? Because you can't hit your income goal if you don't have enough leads coming in. And our launch system, so you know exactly how to create predictability in your revenue, and a sales process so you know what to say to close the sale. So you answer about 5 or 6 questions, and I'm going to send you a video training breaking down which part you need to fix, whether it's leads, launching, or sales, and a digital document that breaks down each part of it. So you'll get a video training as well as a digital document showing you exactly how to do it. You'll see the link in the description below for you to get free access. Let's get back to the rest of the episode.